Riding a horse can be fun and exciting, but in a blink of an eye, all of that fun and excitement can go right out the window and turn into a scary and harmful ride. If your horse is not correctly saddled, then your ride can become very dangerous. This is how you correctly saddle a horse. Before you get ready to saddle, you want to make sure that your horse is properly groomed. You want to make sure to get all of the dust out of her fur, and then make sure to comb her mane to make sure that there are no cockroaches left. Once she is properly groomed, then you can start the saddling process. You want to go over and grab your saddle blanket, which looks like this. There are many different types of saddle blanket, but I prefer this type because it is very thick and it provides more protection. You use a saddle blanket to help relieve the stress from the saddle, and then it won't cause any burns or irritate the horse's skin. You put the saddle blanket right about here, where this little bump starts to begin and where her mane is about to end. There is a kind of a line going right here that matches the back of here, and when it lines up like that, you know your saddle blanket is in the right spot. Next, you come over to your saddle, and everything that is on the right side, you want to loop over Next, you want to pick your saddle up and put it on your horse's back. When you put the saddle on, you want to make sure that there is about an inch between the saddle and the blanket and the horse's back. That way, in case when you're riding, your saddle scoots up, there's still enough of your saddle blanket on that won't irritate the horse. Next, everything that is looped over your saddle, you want to put back down. Next, you want to take this piece and bring it across her belly. And you take this right here and loop it through. You want to pull it, but you don't want to pull it too tight, otherwise you won't be able to loop it through your second time. You want to make sure to have it looped twice, and then you want to pull it. And you know your saddle is in the correct place when you pull it and it goes right here by the horse's leg. It kind of has an indent, so you know you're on the right track. You want to make sure that you still have a little bit of room. And you take it through and loop it in the right-hand corner right there. Bring it through, and you're going to go up through the left-hand corner, like that. Once you have it in that position, you want to pull it nice and tight. You know that it's nice and tight when you stick your fingers through and you can barely reach them. And if you can't wiggle them, you know it's tight enough. It may seem a little too tight, but when you're saddling horses fill their bellies with air, and then once they get riding, all the air comes out, so then your saddle will become loose. So you want to make sure to get it as tight as possible. Once it's nice and tight, you bring this down and pull it through. Once you have that done, you come back over and you grab this piece. Not every rider has this on the horse, but I do because it adds extra protection and it helps keep your saddle in the same place. What you do is you loop it through on this side and you pull it. And then you want to check on the front of your horse and make sure that it lines up right about there where the line ends right here. And then once you have it correctly latched like that, you take this right here and it attaches underneath her belly. Right there. And then as you can tell, it's not too snug and it's not too loose, so she can freely run with that. Now you are completely done with the saddle. So next you apply the harness. The harness looks like this. This is a fancier one, and they come in all different colors and sizes. When you apply the harness, you take it like this, because this bit right here goes into the horse's mouth, and the ears come through here. When you apply the harness, you take your right arm and you bring it around here, and grab it, and you put this piece in their mouth. And horses usually don't like this feeling, so you kind of have to pry to get it in. Next you bring it up and you poke the ears through. And then on this side there is a piece to attach. And you bring it over the top of her head, and then there is a lever here that you loop it through, and then you connect it like that. And you want to make sure that this is loose but not too loose. And once you have that, your horse is correctly saddled. I usually, when I ride, I leave this on in case you have to get off and tie your horse up quickly. You still have another halter. So then you unhook your horse from the rope, and you come over here. When you're about ready to get on your horse, you go and you take the reins, and you bring it up and over, and you want to crisscross them like that. And you do the same and bring it over there like that. When you get on your horse, you want to make sure to have your reins in your left hand and your foot in the stirrup. When you get on your horse, whoa girl. When you get on your horse and your saddle does not move, that's how you know that your saddle is correctly on. If you go like this and your saddle does not move, it is properly secured. And that is how you put a saddle on a horse.